Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Free Throw TV, your premier destination for the latest news and insights from the world of basketball. As you can see from the introduction, today's video will cover some significant headlines in the NBA. Especially in today's video, we will talk about how Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren could change the NBA. We will analyze the two players from the preseason match between Spurs and Thunder. So, without further ado, let's dive into the news. Overestimating the NBA preseason is often a mistake, but I think we need to talk about Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren. After all, the prodigious rookies delivered a great show in the duel between Oklahoma City Thunder and San Antonio Spurs on the night of last Monday, October 9th. And what can we take away from the great confrontation? Therefore, I want to emphasize that I intend to go far beyond the numbers, even if they're excellent. The Thunder youngster played for 16 minutes, scoring 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 1 blocked shot. He made 7 of 10 shots and converted both of his three-point attempts. In the end, he won 122-121. Spurs Frenchman was on the court for 19 minutes. He had 20 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. He converted 8 of 13 shots, while making 2 of 5 shots from the perimeter. But the focus here is on performance, as it should be in preparatory friendlies. Here are 3 points about each of them, and why we're so excited about the future of the NBA. Victor Wembanyama is already one of the best defenders in the league the second he steps onto a court in the U.S. This may seem exaggerated or even premature, but I assure you it is not. In addition to his enormous size, after all, he is already the tallest player in the tournament as a freshman. The size of the number one is maddening. Even as the tallest player in the tournament as a freshman, the number one's wingspan is maddening. However, that's not all that makes him a challenge on that side of the court. The mobility on such a tall body is just bizarre. A play with the very good Jalen Williams yesterday explains very well what I'm saying here. Watch.
You throw that in with the addition of Wembanyama and some of the others, more good things are ahead. There's the block by Victor. And that's going to linger.
The Thunder winger does a great job with this move. The dribbling is millimetric, almost perfect. Or rather, it's even perfect. However, against the comments, the young man's crossover creates a big separation with Wembanyama. Easy path to the basket. Notice the size of the displacement when the dribble is completed. However, the 2023 draft pick's change of direction is almost perfect. Beaten, he steps to the side, turns his body, goes up and blocks one of the fastest players in the league while attacking the basket, nullifying the disadvantage as if it were nothing. Or rather, as if, in the end, it hadn't even existed. How do you dribble someone so tall, with so much reach and so big? That kind of comeback will make him the league leader in blocked shots for years to come. One of the biggest questions about the 2023-24 Spurs is why Wembanyama won't play as a pivot. It's true that Keldon Johnson and Jeremy Sochan didn't play yesterday, but the idea, according to rumors, is the same. The Frenchman will play in position 4, alongside Zach Collins. There are several explanations. Despite having gained nearly 20 pounds as he physically transitions to the NBA's imposing game, he is still very thin. Avoiding injuries that shorten the careers of other giants, such as Yao Ming, makes perfect sense. Removing him from confrontations under the basket, at least initially, is the obvious answer. But another point is, we have a versatile duo. Collins shot 37.4% on threes last year. In attack, he can space out, and in defense, he can be better protected in rim protection due to the Frenchman's readings and size. Look at this thing.
Get that shot off a lot quicker.
Spurs harass Wallace into a turnover, and
Wemby got in there, and Moore got a piece of that one, then he gets out and runs the floor. Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama is not guarding Chet Holmgren, or any other center. And yes, Josh Giddey. He is on the perimeter, observing and uses his lateral speed to stretch and influence the infiltration of freshman Cason Wallace. Steal of the ball and a perfect demonstration of how influential he can be on defense, being free to operate as he pleases. And the other point to highlight is the transition. If I already said that he is one of the best defenders in the NBA as a rookie, I also tell you that there are questions about his efficiency in attack. After all, he wasn't that good at spacing in European basketball. Half-court defenses tend to make their game difficult, which is a big criticism of San Antonio's lack of spacing in 2023-24. The counterpoint, however, is, as in the possession above, he can influence opponent attacks, force mistakes, and, from there, move into the open court like a 2.24m giant. He is unstoppable in this sense and can use his strengths in defense to boost his offensive game. And this also applies to the scheme. With another pivot, he doesn't have to fight for rebounds every possession and has the freedom to run the court. This is thought. Notice.
A lot of people thought he should have been coach of the year last year as Dort knocks down the three. They won 40 games last year, improved by 16 games. And that was without most of the year, and then finally had surgery and sat out. Williams with a follow, won't go. Rebound, and out to Wembanyama, and there you go.
Victor Wembanyama already tries to run to the other side of the court as soon as Chet Holmgren's dunk doesn't work. The Thunder get the offensive rebound, he takes a step back and delays the run. But when the play doesn't work again, he fires. A quick pass from Trey Jones and he's open for a dunk. And he still has time to take out Lou Dort, who is trying to recover. Processes that are trained, thought out. Remember that there is a genius commanding the Giants every step. Greg Popovich, ladies and gentlemen. The Thunder were the most fun team to watch at the end of the 2022-23 season. A team without pivots, without size, but with a lot of variety and pace. An incredible, fluid attack, well coached by Mark Daniel. However, there were some flaws that, in the end, did not allow the team to reach the playoffs. The lack of a taller option for the role hurt the team in rebounding. He gave up the second most offensive rebounds last year and the one who gave up the most total rebounds. Rim protection was also an issue. The Thunder weren't even one of the teams that suffered the most in terms of round numbers, but they were still one of the 13 teams that gave up the most 2 points in the league. The fragility in the sectors made them the 19th team that suffered the most points in the last campaign. The high pace that the team practiced, however, made it average, with the 14th defensive efficiency in the NBA. If the defense was not so addressed in the first game of the attacks, Holmgren immediately made an impact on rebounds in his first game. He collected 7 in the first 8 minutes of the game alone. He was one last rebound away from closing out a 20-10 double-double in just 16 minutes. In other words, it immediately impacts the place where the team suffered the most in 2022-23. Not to mention his bizarre ability to block shots and protect the paint. I left the video for the second topic because, after all, I'm not going to show you all the rebounds he collected. But there is a striking characteristic in at least half of them, and it will help Oklahoma a lot throughout the campaign.
This came off to Holmgren, and now Giddey. Back to Holmgren, out of Gonzaga, going against another Gonzaga ex in college. Better be concerned. Jim Penny with a miss. Julian, just an outstanding finish to last season, along with several of the other Spurs coming down the stretch.
It's hard to argue with a rebound against someone who's 7 feet 1 inch tall. But putting in work is important. Here, Chet Holmgren collects the Texans' throwing error, without any difficulty imposed by Zach Collins or even Victor Wembanyama. Great boxing work from the Thunder team. He doesn't need to pass the ball. His technical repertoire is the most frightening in terms of what Oklahoma will be like in the coming years. Then, he goes on the attack, while being marked from distance by Zach Collins. When he finally decides to pass the ball, he immediately blocks Wembanyama, who loses contact with Jalen Williams. Collins' coverage is not fair, as the center himself is a great free passing option under the basket. Defensive collapse, 2 points, and the foul for Oklahoma. It is precisely this type of flexibility, where everyone can command offensive action, where everyone is important within a collective system, that makes Thunder such a fun experience. So it's not just about covering gaps. Chet reinforces what this team already does very well. Yesterday specifically, Holmgren showed how much of a weapon he can be in different sectors of the court. Check out this video with his best moments in the game.
Loves that left side. But an offensive rebound by Wallace. There is Holmgren driving in. Chet Holmgren with the left-handed finish. Just dumb. Quick pace up ahead. You see Giddey with that size, and he snaps that cross-court pass over to Holmgren. That three is good, and so Chet Holmgren shows why he is so dangerous on the offense.
Shooting pocket. This is just a beautiful play here, folks. Watch it. High school coaches, watch it. Spacing.
A lot of space in a hurry.
Well, that's what, he's just using that God-given talent to just get to the bucket. And how about a God-given talent getting to the bucket?
Boy, an aggressive first quarter so far from Holmgren, going right at Collins, the veteran center. A couple of players from Gonzaga.
You down like that. I mean, what are you going to do at 6'2", 6'3"?
Collins blocked by Holmgren.
Did he block that flat-footed? I'm not sure. My goodness.
That shot off. Now Giddey, the action. Holmgren knew it was going to be short, got his own miss. Turns around, contorts the body, and somehow got enough in over the rim.
That's just limp, man. But a smaller than Chet Holmgren.
Holmgren follows up the miss. Once again, the athleticism.
I'm not counting points because it's preseason.
But he has, and all the skill that made him the top overall pick. Holmgren from the outside, and they exchange threes. Holmgren from deep's got his second three.
He says, whatever you do, I get a basketball with a lot of pressure on him.
And the lob to Holmgren. How about that connection? Jalen Williams set it up perfectly.
On the first ball, he is spaced to attack the basket against a shorter opponent. Tre Jones doesn't even have time to think that he can disrupt the Oklahoma City freshman's easy points. The next basket is very interesting considering the team's half-court attack. A completely spaced court, while Giddey tries to build something with his back to the basket. Holmgren is already heading towards the dead zone and is given freedom to throw. He converts the ball completely free, which will be vital for a Thunder who, despite their good attack, was only 17th in three-point shooting in 2022/23. There's a two-point play and a lack of back to the basket. There is a play where he carries the ball from coast to coast and imposes himself on the tray. Offensive rebound that turns into a point. Three ball without hesitation. The variety in the ways he scores, while shooting 70% from the field, proves that Holmgren is yet another brilliant young man who can impact every situation in favor of the Thunder. See how much content they both generated in less than 20 minutes on the court in the NBA, even if it was in the preseason. Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama are synonymous with an increasingly wild revolution of the pivot position. Obviously, it might not work, but the prospect is very interesting. After all, they are two super tall, thin guys without the standard physique that is required of a player in that position. But, in the short and long term, they can do everything on a basketball court. They said that the function was an extinction, but the reality is that it is evolving. Nikola Jokic is the best player on the planet, while he is a point guard, something unthinkable for conservatives of the game. Bam Adebayo can defend every position. Anthony Davis, who escapes the stigma so much, too. Joel Embiid and his game of infinite offensive resources. The era of big, versatile men is what could rule the league for a long time. The Nuggets title was a huge warning, and the emergence of these two boys could be consolidation. We are watching. And thus, we conclude our round of news for today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any NBA news. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter as well, as we provide updates throughout the day over there. Now, at the end, YouTube will be recommending some videos from our channel, so go ahead and watch them all. Until the next video, peace to all.